Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be going over a championship challenge guide, which you guys requested so much. So we're going to be giving you some comps, tips, tricks, hopefully everything you need to know to help you win the challenge. So let's hop straight into it. Alright guys, so how this is going to work is we're going to give you guys some OP picks in every role for the map, but I want you guys to remember to keep in mind that if you don't know how to play a brawler, or if you're not comfortable with a brawler, it's probably not going to work very good for you. So just keep that in mind. Pick one of the brawlers probably that you are more comfortable with, and that way you're going to get more success in the championship challenge. But anyway, let's hop into the first map. So the first map is going to be Factory Rush. Now, if you want to play mid on Factory Rush, I highly suggest picking Bell. Bell is super OP on almost every map right now. But if you don't have Bell or you don't want to play Bell, another option is going to be Piper, Jean, Pam, even Max mid is very strong on this map. Those options are all very strong and they can all work inside of that map. So again, just keep in mind, pick one that you are more comfortable with. So if you want to play side on that map, some great options are going to be Barley, Stu, Max, Spike, and Sandy. Those are all pretty solid options. Just some things to keep in mind. If you're going to be playing Spike, remember that your main job is defense. You want to make sure that you are the one that is taking out that bot if they do get one. And if you play Barley, your main job is going to be offense. You want to make sure you stay alive in that push. You want to make sure that you get a ton of damage on their safe because you are the main damage dealer for offense. And then if you're going to be playing the Max or Stu, your job is to collect bolts. Your job is to be super fast around the map. Make sure you're collecting those bolts for your team. So some tips for Factory Rush. Factory Rush is going to be a more defensive siege map. And what I mean by that is it's easier to defend on Factory Rush than the other siege maps. What that implies is that you're going to want to hold control of mid and try to get all three bots, or try to get the third bot at least, because the third bot you can just all in and get a ton of damage with that last push. And the third bot on this map is going to be more important than any other bot, and it usually is in all siege maps. So just keep that in mind. Try to make sure you get the third one at least if you're going to lose the first two, and then that way you can all in the last push and hopefully win some more games. So let's hop into the next map. All right, so the next map is going to be Ring of Fire. Now, if you want to play mid on Ring of Fire, I highly suggest taking Bell or 8-bit. Again, Bell is super OP right now, and 8-bit is very strong. You're gonna want to place that turret far back so you get the speed boost, and don't place it too far up, because if they destroy your turret, you're not going to be that useful inside the game. Your turret is so important. Make sure you put it far back, get that speed boost if you have that star power. But if you don't want to run Bell or 8-bit, there is a couple other options, but they aren't quite as good. So like B and Pam are not too bad, but again, if you do have Bell or 8-bit, I highly suggest those two as the mid picks. All right, some OP picks in the lane. If you want to play left lane on this map, I highly suggest taking Rico or Penny. Both are pretty solid options on that left lane. Now, if you're going to be playing Rico, you're going to want to push up into their left box area. You're going to want to hold that spot down. You're going to want to control that area and get in there as soon as possible and shoot them when they go mid. If you don't want to play Rico, you can play Penny as well. Penny is another great option. And you're going to charge your turret and you're going to put that in your right box corner. You're going to place it behind the wall, and it's going to do a ton of damage every single time they walk into the hot zone. Some great options for the right lane as well are going to be like Max, Stu, or you can run a thrower like Barley or Sprout. Now, throwers are a little bit more risky on this map, but trust me, they are very strong. So if you're comfortable with throwers, I highly suggest picking Barley or Sprout, and use your super as Barley to cover the mid. Make sure you push them out of the mid, and Sprout, kind of the same thing. You're going to want to use your super to give yourself cover or give yourself your team cover. Those are going to be some OP picks for the lanes. Okay, so some tips for Ring of Fire are going to be, this is a very control based map, and the team with the most control is probably going to win the game. You're going to want to stay alive, keep yourself alive, and that way you don't have to respawn, because once you get spawn trapped on this map, it's very hard to come back. So make sure you just heal up if you're low and try to hold a spot. Try to make sure you hold down that right lane, because it's super important not to let them get into those areas. But anyway, let's hop in the next one. Okay, so the next map is going to be Safe Zone. Now, the meta on this map is pretty small. There only is so many good options, and it's mostly going to be long range. So in the mid, you're going to be wanting to run Bell or 8-bit or Byron or Piper. One of those four brawlers probably is going to be very strong in the mid. Some of the OP picks in the lanes are going to be Colette. Now, Colette is super OP on Heist, especially if you do have that shield star power. When you super the safe, you're going to be basically unkillable. And if you do have a Byron Colette, that's going to make you even more unkillable, to be honest. So if you compare those two brawlers together, that's super OP. Some other great picks in the lanes are going to be Colt. If you're playing Colt, you can sometimes break that that right side and push up the right side of the map. Or you can play Brock. Brock is also very good, and as well Crow. Those are all some pretty solid picks as laners. So some general tips for safe zone. Now this is a very long control based map where the team with control is usually going to be able to win, but also this is still heist, guys. So remember that damage is going to win the game. If you guys have a Colette, your main job as Colette is going to be to get damage onto their safe. You're not going to be the one on the right side defending the entire time. You always want to be pushing up if you can. Try to get some position. Try to make sure that you're threatening to do damage onto their safe. And if you're pushing up, they have to deal with you. That means they're going to have to come back and deal with you. So again, damage is going to win games in heist. So always try to push up if you're a high damage deal brawler, and make sure you're hitting that safe if you can. All right, so the next map is going to be dry season. Now this map, the lanes are kind of irrelevant on this map. There's just basically OP picks. You can play them wherever you want, really. So some OP picks are going to be Tick, Sprout. Any thrower on this map is very strong. Throwers on this map are absolutely insane, as well as Mr. P is very good on this map. And then some, you can pair those with a Nanny, a Belle, or a Piper, or even Brock. Those are all really strong options to pair with the throwers. But if you run throwers, just keep in mind that you always run the risk of running into a Poco comp, like a Poco Mortis. You probably will lose that game. So just keep that in mind. There is a little bit of risk of running like double thrower or Mr. P thrower. Just keep that in mind. But again, throwers are very strong on this map. Okay, so some general tips for dry season. Now this map is very hard to regain the lead. Now if you have the lead, make sure to use your walls as your advantage. Make sure you use the walls to protect yourselves. If you're playing behind those walls, the other team has to walk in the mid, has to walk in the open to try to get a kill, and that way you can all focus someone if they walk too far up. So make sure you guys use the walls as your advantage, and vice versa. If the other team has the lead, make sure you play it slow. Make sure you don't run straight mid and just die by all three of them shooting at you. Make sure you push up as a team. Take it slow because it is hard to regain control on this map. So just keep that in mind for dry season. But let's hop in the next one. So the last map is going to be triple dribble. Now for triple dribble, some of the best mid brawlers are going to be either a thrower brawler like Barley or Tick, or you can run like Max or Jean in the mid for the most part, or even Poco is going to be pretty solid. So those are going to be some OP picks for the mid. Now for the sides, just guys, keep in mind this is a weird map. It's not symmetrical, so the sides really do matter on this map. Now there's going to be the open side that has that one long wall, and then there's the closed side that has a bunch of walls that you have to use to your advantage. So on the open side, brawlers that are going to be really strong are going to be like Max, Stu, and Ems. Those are going to be better brawlers on the open side. And then for the closed side, you're going to be wanting to run brawlers like Nita or Sandy that use walls and can corner peek walls better, and they're going to be much better on the closed side than they are going to be on the open side. So just keep that in mind when you're picking which side to go at the start of the game. So some general tips for triple dribble are going to be, once you have control, don't panic. Don't try to force a goal because it is so easy to spawn trap on this map. Once you have control, it is very hard for the other team to push up to regain any control if you guys play it slow. But if you guys force a goal and one of your teammates goes down, it's going to be extremely hard to score. You guys are going to lose your goal attempt, and then they're going to be on the offense, and then you're going to be the one spawn trapped. So again, just take your time, make sure you don't panic, and try to just slowly pick away at their HP. And then if you get a good opportunity, that's when you should go for the goal. Now that's going to be it for the video. Now just a quick reminder to pick something that you're more comfortable with. Hopefully I gave you enough options so that you can pick one of those brawlers that you are a little bit more comfortable with, so that way you get more success inside of the challenge. But hopefully you guys did enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe. Peace.